Hi, welcome to another video. This is the art of practice, and this is a series of videos where I talk about practice and my thoughts around practice. I'm just taking you into my world, what I'm thinking, might be questioning, and yeah, just again diving into the notion of practice and the art behind it. You know, finding ways to unlock your true potential. The topic I want to touch on today is rest. I think for me it's just today's more of questions. Resting is 100% necessary when you're practicing, and for especially for a long term. If you want to be, dedicating a lot of hours and effort, energy into growing within the craft that you've chosen, and in my case it's dance, rest is important. But how and when do we actually, what does it mean to rest, and how can we do that in different ways? This is me just thinking about the topic and not saying that I have any answers, and probably people might disagree with things that I'm saying. That's okay. I would love to hear later why, but if you agree, amazing. And then where do you resonate? So resting. Most of the times when I've been in conversation with people, it appears to me that resting often has meant stepping away from your practice completely. Most of the times it's been over vacations maybe that people rest. Now it's time to rest, so I won't do anything. I'm gonna lay in my couch, watch a bunch of series, and eat nice food, and just enjoy myself. I treat myself to not practicing. And what I then have experienced, and especially this was when I was studying dance. When I was studying dance, people would then go on holidays, rest, the well-deserved rest, and then they come back again to the practice. And then the first comment obviously is like, oh my God, my body, oof, I haven't practiced in X amount of time and I can feel it. Oh, I need to get back into my body. I need to get back into my practice. I feel rusty. Like hearing these things, this is where I started to question, okay, what does it mean to rest? And does it really mean doing nothing? I'm currently in a standpoint where my opinion is no. I firmly stand by that resting does not mean do nothing. I would like to argue that resting is still doing something, but it might be less. If I have a certain program that I've set for myself that, okay, this is my practice schedule, this is my practice program, and it's very intense because I'm trying to push myself to a next level, and because I have certain goals, blah, blah, blah. I do that for a period, and then it might be, Christmas holidays, or it might be that I've actually planned in, okay, now having worked so hard for a while, I can feel that I need rest. And most likely what I then need, or what I am then setting for myself, speaking out of my perspective, is that I just need to lower the intensity. And it could be by a lot, right? It could be that instead of really diving into the practice and going for long hours, I might just need a half an hour on my resting days where I touch on certain things related to my practice, so that I still, within my resting days, I might spend half an hour or an hour max by really calmly, without much pressure, without reaching a high intensity, just going through certain movements, certain things that I've been working on, and just touching on it in a way of keeping my body remembering and to not go to zero. That for me is rest, because you're giving space for your body to recover or to recharge. And also maybe during those days, time-wise, you give yourself rest, because maybe you would be practicing for 2-3 hours on a day, but now instead you practice half an hour, maximum an hour, in the early morning maybe, or the last thing you do that day, and you've had time maybe also in your mind to do other things. Maybe now you've enjoyed your day by being on the couch watching series or going on a holiday, so that you're still resting, but that your body still gets that is still being fed that practice, so that by the time you then go back into work mode, you haven't not done anything, and there's not really much to get back into my body. I feel so rusty, because you've been working that, you've been still been active, and yes, made sure that everything is working as it should, and then you step out of your rest. Now, of course, there will be moments when perhaps your practice requires you to do nothing on a day, right? To really, like, you maybe really need to recover, or you almost or did have an injury, then you maybe first need to have some days of not doing anything before gradually finding movement and finding like your way back into practice. But I think the general approach to rest, I would argue that that does not mean do nothing. That means, to me, do less. And so you keep your body's memory fresh. You keep your body still active and ready for the time you ask it to then go full speed in back again into your practice. Yeah, that's my view on resting, and I think it's important to figure out for you what kind of rest you need, and to really sometimes check when we look for the, okay, I need to rest, or I have a week now, I'm gonna rest. And if you're normally would go into the state of not doing anything, is to check why. Yeah, just checking in with yourself what type of rest you need, and if you're going into a doing nothing mode, why? Is it you're giving yourself a reason to not practice and then to chill? Or is it really that, oh, I don't know, I need to step away from it for a bit in order to regain maybe motivation? That you really reached a low in your practice, and you feel like, okay, stepping out of it maybe a few days or maybe a week tops to get some distance in order to then recharge. Maybe you reach that far. But I feel like those kinds of rest is really, okay, reaching a certain limit. Generally, I believe that rest doesn't equal do nothing. Feed your body with that practice, and keep your body remembering what it is that you're working towards, right? That treat your body by still practicing, by still doing something, and that not seeing doing nothing as treating, but the other way around. Do I have anything else? I mean, this is a thought I have, and it's led me to believe what I'm sharing with you. But I'm very, very curious what you think. Do you agree with what I'm saying? Like, do you resonate with what I am sharing with you, or do you completely disagree? Like, kind of no. Like, resting, there needs to be nothing. Let me know in the comments below, and also please share why you think so. But I think that's it for this video. Is there anything? Am I missing anything? Probably. But I think today I just wanted to share the thought I had. Again, it's been something that I've been observing. I want to just be conscious, so that whenever I feel that I want to go into into resting, why am I feeling this? Because it can also, we can find so many reasons not to practice, and we can maybe also, a lot of times, within these reasons, we can cover them up with an excuse of resting. Right, that's also something to be careful with. If resting is becoming a reason or an excuse not to practice, because then that for me is different, right? Are you in need of resting from your practice because you really need to rest, or are you creating a need for rest as an excuse not to practice? And this is where I just want, for myself at least, to be aware and careful with, because this can set off a downward spiral where like gradually you rest more than you practice. But yes, have you ever had that you've covered your excuses of not practicing with resting? If so, also share with me in the comments. I mean, I for sure am guilty of that, which is also why I'm very aware that I don't want to do that. So yes, that's it for today and the topic of resting within your practice. So I hope you have found your nice dose of rest and that you're still enjoying your practice. And let's find out what our true potential is. And I'll see you in the next video.